You know that person who can't talk about their ex without their jaw tightening? 6 months ago, they were posting photos of them, calling them their best friend. Now, the same person is unrecognizable in their voice. Every story has been rewritten. Every memory has been re-edited. The good moments are gone or stained. The bad moments are now proof of something they always saw coming. And they're not lying. They genuinely cannot access the version of that person they used to love. It's like a door in their brain has been closed, and it didn't close gradually. It slammed shut the moment that person walked out. You've watched a friend do this, or you've done it yourself. Maybe you're doing it right now. And here's where the assumption breaks down. People think this is pettiness, bitterness, a failure to be the bigger person. The research says something different. Your brain isn't rewriting them because you've grown. It's rewriting them because grief is a survival problem, and your nervous system found a shortcut. Over the next few minutes, you'll see exactly why your mind turns people who leave into villains, why it happens automatically, why it feels true, and what's actually happening underneath. There's a name for this. Psychologists call it splitting. In plain language, your mind can only hold one feeling about a person at a time when the stakes are too high. It can't carry, "I love them and they hurt me" at the same volume, so it picks one. And when they leave, it picks the one that lets you survive. They become all bad, because all bad is something you can grieve. All bad is something you can walk away from. The other version, the person you loved who was also flawed and human, that one is impossible to lose. Losing them would mean falling apart, so your mind doesn't lose them, it deletes them. And replaces them with someone you can stop loving. And here's the first layer. The pain of being left isn't metaphorical. Naomi Eisenberger ran neuroimaging studies on social rejection. She found it activates the same brain region as physical injury. The region is called the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. To your nervous system, abandonment and a broken bone are processed by the same alarm. So when someone leaves, your brain isn't sad, it's wounded. And wounded systems don't think, they protect. The villain story is your brain's painkiller. If the person who left was a good person, the wound makes no sense. The wound has no shape. But if they were the villain, suddenly the pain has a reason. Suddenly you can be angry instead of devastated. Anger has a target. Grief doesn't. And here's the second layer most people miss. Your memories aren't recordings, they're reconstructions. Every time you remember something, your brain rebuilds it from scratch. And it updates the rebuild based on what you currently feel. Daniel Schachter's memory research describes this as retrospective coherence. Your present emotion rewrites your past. So when the breakup happens, your brain doesn't just hate them now, it backdates the hatred. The small comments from years ago become red flags. The forgotten birthday becomes a pattern. The moments you laughed together get quietly recolored. Here's the part nobody warns you about. By the time the dust settles, you don't have access to who they actually were anymore. You only have access to the version your nervous system needed them to be. And this is where you need to hear something. You were told you were being cruel, that you were holding a grudge, that you couldn't let go, that you were rewriting history to make yourself the victim. None of that was true. You weren't being cruel.
You were being kept alive. Your mind didn't turn them into a villain because you stopped loving them. It turned them into a villain because you didn't stop. Because loving someone who left would have broken something in you. So your nervous system made them unlovable for you. Not for the world, for you. Just enough to let you breathe. Just enough to let you walk into Monday morning. Just enough to let you survive the silence in your own house. You didn't hate them. You hated still loving them. That's not a character defect. That's the oldest survival mechanism the human brain has. So here's what actually governs this. Splitting isn't a choice. It's a response calibrated to how much you lost. The deeper the bond, the harder the split, because your brain has more to protect you from. People who barely felt the relationship don't villainize. People who would have died for the relationship can't talk about it for years. The intensity of your villain story is a measurement of how much you loved them, not the other way around. And the softening, when it eventually comes, is also not a choice. It happens when your nervous system finally trusts that you can survive remembering them as a full human. That usually takes longer than people are willing to admit. So when you watch someone or yourself turn a person they once loved into a villain, you're not watching cruelty. You're watching a wound trying to heal. The story will soften, the edges will return, the good moments will quietly come back, not because you've forgiven them, because you finally survived them. Think about the last person you wrote off. Is the story about them protecting you, or is it stopping you from grieving them? If this explains something you've never had words for, subscribe. That's what every video on this channel is trying to do. Next, we'll look at why some people can't stop checking on the exact person who hurt them.